Hey everyone, Jake here for Extreme Terrain, and in this video we're taking a look at the Oracle Oculus Bi-LED projector headlights with black housings and clear heated lenses fitting 2020 and newer JT Gladiators. These are perfect for the JT owner who needs a little extra lighting and the assurance that they will be able to see in even the worst of winter weather. Now, LED headlights are great, but they don't put off enough heat to clear the lenses in snowy or icy conditions. Thankfully, Oracle has thought of that and has you covered here. The headline feature on this set of headlights is the heated lens. Now, these are going to come on automatically when your headlight is on and when the ambient temperature is near freezing, so you don't have to do anything to switch them on, making for a totally worry-free setup. There is a small orange indicator down here to help you know when these are activated, and these will cycle on and off to regulate the temperature and again keep your headlight lenses clear. They have internal temperature sensors as well to regulate the temperature of the lenses, and there's an additional external temperature sensor, one for each light, to monitor the outside temperature so these know when to come on. So especially if you live in a place that gets a lot of snow and ice, these are a must. And the heating elements look pretty darn cool on the front end too. These look like a bit of a robotics style or sci-fi type of eye, and personally, I'm a big fan. Around the outer edges, you also get some LED halo rings that function as your daytime running lights. But these also have a lot more lighting output than your standard headlights. In the center, you'll find Bi-LED projectors, so these will function as your main and high beams and put out a bright, sharp, wide beam pattern and throw a ton of light, 5,200 lumens to be exact. Now, we see a lot of headlights around these parts, but I can say confidently that I've never seen anything quite like these. And having driven in blizzard conditions with LEDs in a few vehicles, having these integrated heaters will be a huge help and an absolute game changer. Now, the outer housings are made using automotive grade ABS plastic, so these are going to be lightweight and strong. The lenses are made using polycarbonate, sort of the industry standard, so these are going to last and function just like your factory headlights. They are also DOT and SAE approved, meaning that they are fully street legal, and they've got integrated adjusters. They also come pre-wired for easy installation. You get everything you need included in the box, but we'll talk more about that in a moment. Pricing for the set comes in at about $675, making these a decidedly more premium option, mostly because you've got all that good LED stuff inside, and of course because of those heaters. Now, if you've got the room in your budget and you encounter winter weather a lot, these really are a no-brainer. Installation comes in at a 1 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now again, this is a fully plug and play operation. You don't really need to do any wiring with the exception of this one connector that's pretty much crimped and ready to go. You've just got to put it on the associated wire here on the harness, crimp it down, and you're set. And of course, changing headlights on a JT is pretty simple. You're going to spend a little bit of extra time running these wires and hooking up your temperature sensors, but again, everything comes pretty much ready to go and get plugged in. So with that, let's head on out to the shop and we'll walk you through the install process.
The tools you'll need for this project are 3/8 and 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a shallow and a deep 10mm socket, a trim panel removal tool, a pair of needle nose pliers, and a pair of wire crimpers. Hi everyone. Today we're installing a set of headlights on our Gladiator, so let's get started by watching a short video on how to uninstall the stock headlights.
Now we're going to be removing our 6 clips up top to remove the grille using our clip removal tool. And there's one more clip over on this side. So now that your clips are removed at the top, there's going to be some pull tabs on the bottom, and we just got to give a light tug and it'll come out. Now there's going to be 3 10mm bolts that hold your headlight in place, so we're going to take our 10mm socket and take them out. Now before we remove this, you're going to want to hold in the headlight so it doesn't come flying out. Now we can pull out. Then we can remove our connector by pressing in this tab and pulling out. Now you can repeat that process on the other side.
So with our headlights removed, first thing we're going to do is run the new wiring for our DRL lights on the new lights. And to do that, we're just going to run it up behind the headlight mounting area, along the side rail here, and we're going to hook the black wire up to this ground pole here, and then we'll put a fuse tap on this red wire and plug it into the fuse box. So we'll go ahead and run our wire up through. Give yourself plenty of slack. Then using a 10mm socket, we're going to remove this last nut right here and slide the ring terminal onto that stud and replace the nut. Like I said, we'll just go ahead and connect our black ring terminal to this stud and then replace the nut. Tighten that back down. Now we'll go ahead and insert our red wire into our included fuse tap, and then using our wire crimpers, crimp that in place so that it stays secure. Now we'll remove our fuse cover. And the fuse that we're going to be using to plug this in is F52. All right, if you're having trouble locating F52, easiest way to find it is look for this circuit breaker right here in the middle of the box, and then that fuse is going to be the third one from that. So it's going to be this yellow fuse right here. So we'll use our needle nose pliers to pull that out, and we'll go ahead and insert it back into our fuse tap here. All right, and then we'll plug this back in where it came out. Then we go ahead and route our wire out of the fuse box and go ahead and replace our lid. Now, all we have to do now is just go ahead and hook up our wiring harness to the back of our light, to our cable that's marked for DRL. So we'll go ahead and line that up, insert it, screw on the connector. Now the other thing that we have, because these lenses are a heated lens, we have the external temperature sensor that we need to connect as well. And that's going to connect to this connector. So we just line up the tabs on here, go ahead and plug it in. And then on the end of this temperature sensor, we have some double-sided tape with a backing material on it. So once we get this installed, you just have to determine where you're going to put this on. Preferably away from any heat source, because it will be detecting the temperature and that will activate the heated lens. So for now, we're just going to drop this down inside. And since we're not leaving these on our vehicle, we're not actually going to connect that, but you can find a spot somewhere down in there, like I said, away from any moving parts and away from any heat source. That way it'll get a more accurate reading to be able to activate the heating element in the lens. Now all we have to do is go ahead and plug in our factory connector to the back of the light and go ahead and install our light. We'll go ahead and place our light back into position. And we'll tighten those down with our 10mm socket. Now we're going to go ahead and run our DRL wire down along the bottom of the core support here for the radiator. Now you can go ahead and get some zip ties and zip tie that up later to make it secure. We're just going to run it across right now and then run it up into the headlight mounting area. And now we can go ahead and make our connections from our harness to our light. Like I said, line up the tabs, screw on our connector. Now we've already attached our temperature sensor here on this wire, on this light. Plug in our harness. And go ahead and install it using the original hardware. And tighten it down with our 10mm socket. Now we can go ahead and reinstall our grill, lining up our tabs at the bottom, pushing them in. Make sure they lock into place. And then we'll resecure the top of the grill using the original push pins. And with that, our installation is now complete. And that wraps up our review and install of the Oracle Oculus Bi-LED projector headlights with heated lens with the black housing and clear lens for your 20 to the newer Jeep Gladiator JT. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things Gladiator, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.